today I have a very special video for you guys. If you're new here, I make videos about cinematography, travel, and I basically just document my journey as a young creative, showing the process, the behind the scenes of how I'm learning different things. So if you're interested, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. I post twice a week on this channel, and let's get right into this video. I don't know if some of you guys remember that Peter McKinnon video I made a couple months ago, but that was the first time I ever shot B-roll. Let's just say it definitely was not the best. I've learned a lot since then about B-roll. Before I let myself give tips or teach something, I want to make sure I actually know what I'm talking about. I've let myself get to a point to where I'm comfortable giving tips on how to shoot B-roll now, whether you're a beginner or a bit more advanced. So stay tuned, and I hope this helps you guys out a little bit. So that B-roll you just saw, I actually filmed with the help of my friend Abrion, which was actually of the Earth Festival that's happening here on my campus. So the first tip, the first and most important, well, it's not the most important tip, but it's definitely something that a ton of people were pointing out on my Peter McKinnon videos. If you're shooting in 60 frames per second, the best way to shoot B-roll is to shoot in 60, or if you can, 120 frames per second, and then down res it to 24 frames per second, I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, I'll have the number up on screen. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now. So you shoot in that, and then you convert the footage later on to this number on screen, because otherwise, first of all, it's not going to be in slow motion. When you convert it from 60 frames per second to 24, it slows down the footage so that, you know, you get that cinematic effect, which a lot of people want when they're shooting B-roll. Another thing that has changed my B-roll game, and that I really needed to figure out how to use, and for some reason it took me a while to figure out how to do this, is speed ramping. It's important, and it makes all the difference when you're creating a B-roll sequence. When you're editing together a B-roll sequence, being able to speed up the beginning and then have it slow down and speed up again, it creates so much more movement than just whatever you're doing with your camera at the time. If you don't know how to do speed ramps, here's a little example. So yeah, that's what a speed ramp is. It's super incredibly useful, and I highly recommend you try it out if you haven't already. It's a good way to make transitions in between two clips. So in my first Peter McKinnon video, I didn't do any speed ramping, and I didn't even slow down any of the footage. So when I was literally filming the B-roll, I was just moving, like this is the camera, I was just moving the camera like really slowly. You know, that's not how you should be doing it. You don't want to be focusing when you're filming on the timing of things. Say like in your head you want the camera to swoop in close, fast, stay for a while, and then pull away really fast. When you're filming, you don't need to do the speed, because you can do that with speed ramping later. One big tip I have is start recording sooner and finish recording later. Especially with speed ramping and wanting to, you know, get those transitions between clips. Maybe you have like part of the shot you really want to be highlighted in your B-roll, but you need some sort of transitional aspect to link it to a previous piece. A clip that has more extra on both ends so that you can link it into the B-roll more effectively and not have to sacrifice using some of that good footage you want to highlight for the transitional parts. Another cool thing to keep in mind is when you're actually shooting the B-roll is to think about the movements you're doing, because when you're wanting to stitch it all together, sometimes it's cool to have the same direction of movement to make it flow better in post and on the screen. Just keep in mind that these shots aren't going to be just individual shots. They're gonna have to connect somehow. So if you make sure you got a lot of movement in there that is similar to ones you previously did, it's a lot easier to connect them and have them make sense together. Another very important thing is the use of sound effects. And the one I use a lot, I need to get better at using sound in my B-roll, but one thing I do use a lot is like whoosh sounds, and that's very useful for if like, maybe it's a more intense transition, or you know, it's like whipping to the side and you would go whoosh. It makes it a bit more immersive. There's a bunch of like free whoosh sounds you can find on YouTube and just download as MP3s. It's not even like super noticeable, but still helps unconsciously with the movement. Here's a couple examples of that instead of me just yelling whoosh. One of the most important things when you're creating a B-roll sequence is choosing the music, because I'll choose the music before I even start editing the B-roll. It's very important to edit to the beat of the music that your B-roll is playing over. Otherwise, it just doesn't flow as well, and you can create a lot of cool effects and transitions by paying attention to what the music is doing. I highly recommend choosing your track before you even start editing, and when you're choosing your music, don't, choose it quickly. Make sure it matches the mood of whatever you're filming, the environment, the pace you want your B-roll to be at, because all those things are very important and play a role in creating that mood. Yeah, I don't know how many tips that was, but I'll have the number up on screen and it will probably be in the title. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. I post videos on this channel every Tuesday and Friday. I will see you this Friday with another new video. Bye!